Journey to the West, or CUG, is a novel of the supernatural, written by Wu Cheng'an during the Ming Dynasty. Frustrated with his failed career as an official, Wu Cheng'an wrote stories of the supernatural to expose the darkness and hypocrisy of society. As he himself said, although my book is named a record of the supernatural, it does not exclusively tell of ghosts. It records human changes and variations, and also contains subtle admonitions. In this article, I will reveal the social realities satirized in Journey to the West, a perspective you have likely never heard before. An allegory for ancient Chinese society. The Celestial Court is an allegory for the imperial court of ancient China. The Jade Emperor is the emperor, the Queen Mother is the empress, and the heavenly officials are the civil and military officials. The three realms, heaven, earth, and man, are the nation's territory, while the Tang dynasty is merely a human territory under the jurisdiction of the Celestial Court. It can be seen as one or several provinces ruled by the central government. The Western Paradise is an allegory for a foreign country. The Buddha is the emperor of this country, and the Bodhisattva Guanyin is its diplomatic envoy. The Western Paradise's economic pillar is a local product called the Dharma. By exporting this product, the Western Paradise can maintain economic growth and carry out cultural infiltration. The relationship between the Celestial Court and the Western Paradise is akin to the relationship between the three kingdoms of Wei, Shu, and Wu, or between the Ming Dynasty and the Mongols. Tang Sanzang, Tripitaka, is a disciple of the Buddha, implying he is a member of the Western Paradise's royal family and loyal to the Buddha. The Buddha dispatches him to the Tang Dynasty province, a territory under the Celestial Court, to serve as an ambassador, peddling his country's dharma to infiltrate and expand their influence. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, is an allegory for a rebellious hero from the lower classes. His birth as a monkey suggests his humble origins. Being born without parents implies a rebellious nature, free from the constraints of filial piety and traditional loyalty. His birth from a stone indicates an innate heroic spirit and a strong ability to rally people. Sun Wukong is a true idealist in a feudal society. His immense skill, charisma, and lack of loyalty to the emperor make him a social instability factor in the eyes of the emperor, who must either appease or suppress him. Zhu Baji, Pigsy, and Sha Wujing, Sandy, are allegories for competent officials who were demoted and exiled for minor offenses that angered the emperor. One was a marshal, the other a general. Zhu Baji was exiled for flirting with the emperor's concubine, and Sha Wujing for accidentally breaking the emperor's cup. Their severe punishments show the emperor's unchecked power. Their skills were later recognized by the Bodhisattva Guanyin, the envoy of the Western Paradise. She recruited them for the mission, promising them official titles and positions if they successfully completed the journey. Patriarch Subhuti is an allegory for capable, talented individuals who were not recognized by the imperial court, much like the famous strategists Gui Guzi in the spring and autumn period, or Sima Hui during the Three Kingdoms period. Despite his vast knowledge and talent, Patriarch Subhuti failed to become an official and chose to live in seclusion. He saw Sun Wukong's exceptional intelligence and decided to teach him his skills, hoping the Monkey King would make a name for himself. He thought, if my apprentice succeeds, my reputation will be elevated, and I will be able to turn my fortunes around. However, worried about Sun Wukong's rebellious nature and fear that he would cause trouble that would implicate him, he made Sun Wukong promise never to reveal who his master was. The Satirical Journey. After leaving his master, Sun Wukong went to several local governments, took a few things with his skills, and freed a group of prisoners of a similar lowly status. He then gathered a group of people from the lower classes, established himself as king on Mount Huaguo, and even raised his own banner. When local officials reported this to the Celestial Court, the Jade Emperor became furious. This country bumpkin not only disturbed his administration, but also dared to call himself king. Such treasonous behavior would be met with swift punishment. He dispatched troops to capture him. The Imperial Grand Tutor suggested, "This man is a bit unruly, but has some skill. Why not give him a powerless official position? It would demonstrate your majesty's benevolence." The Jade Emperor agreed and appointed Sun Wukong to a minor, low-ranking post to manage the horse stables. When Sun Wukong realized he had been duped, he returned to his mountain kingdom, raised his banner, and proclaimed himself, quote, "Great sage, equal to heaven," making it clear he considered himself an equal to the Jade Emperor. The Grand Tutor again persuaded the Jade Emperor to appease Sun Wukong by bestowing on him a royal title. Yet, it was still a title with no real power. He was denied the privileges of other officials, and he was not even invited to the Jade Emperor's official banquets. Sun Wukong was enraged. It was clear that the court looked down on him, a lowly country bumpkin. So he crashed the banquet, stole many treasures from the palace, and returned to his mountain. Enraged, the Jade Emperor dispatched elite troops and generals to capture him. However, Sun Wukong was too skilled, and the generals were simply not committed to the fight. After all, the world belonged to the Jade Emperor, and it wasn't worth risking their lives for him. Guanyin, the envoy from the Western Paradise, saw this clearly and recommended Erlang Shen, the Jade Emperor's nephew. As a member of the royal family, Erlang Shen would fight with all his might for his family's kingdom. With the help of the Taoist master, who ambushed Sun Wukong, he was finally captured. Sun Wukong was subjected to brutal torture, but his extraordinary talent and resilience allowed him to escape. Now he was completely enraged. He gathered his troops and marched on the capital, ready to overthrow the dynasty and take the Jade Emperor's throne. In this critical moment, the Jade Emperor sought help from the Buddha, the Emperor of the Western Paradise. The Buddha personally led his troops to help, but he also had his own plans. He saw that Sun Wukong was a formidable warrior, and thought it might be worth it to have him take the throne instead, turning the celestial court into a vassal state of the Western Paradise. If Sun Wukong refused to submit, he would simply help the Jade Emperor suppress the rebellion and still gain some benefits. Sun Wukong, however, was a hothead who did not grasp the Buddha's intentions. He publicly insulted him. Seeing that this individual was uncontrollable, the Buddha decisively helped the Jade Emperor suppress the rebellion, captured Sun Wukong, and imprisoned him in the Western Paradise's dungeon. After the rebellion was quelled, the Jade Emperor hosted a banquet for the Buddha and his officials. The two signed a friendly trade agreement. The core of the treaty was that in gratitude to the Western Paradise, the Celestial Court would designate the Tang Dynasty as a free trade zone and permit the export of the upgraded version of the Dharma. The ambassador to the Tang Dynasty, Tang Sanzang, would serve as the trade official and be sent back to the Western Paradise to oversee the export business. To ensure Tang Sanzang's safe return, Guanyin was tasked with enlisting the help of Sun Wukong, Zhu Bajie, Shao Wujing, and the White Dragon Horse to escort him, promising them promotions and titles in return for their service. The Jade Emperor publicly supported the trade agreement, but he would not allow the Western Paradise to infiltrate his territory, so he secretly planned to have Tang Sanzang killed along the way. Since he could not openly send his soldiers after them, he covertly spread rumors in the community, saying that whoever killed Tang Sanzang would receive 10,000 taels of gold. He also instructed his officials to send their subordinates to assassinate Tang Sanzang. The local bandits and thugs naturally wanted to kill Tang Sanzang for the gold. However, the court officials did not necessarily think the same. The Jade Emperor had asked them to have their subordinates pretend to be bandits and thugs to kill Tang Sanzang, but they knew that Tang Sanzang was a disciple of the Buddha, a member of a foreign royal family. Killing him would mean offending the Buddha. It was not worth offending a foreign royal family for the sake of the Jade Emperor's kingdom, so they instructed their subordinates not to kill Tang Sanzang, but to capture him and wait for his apprentices to rescue him. They would stage a fight to make it look real. If the Jade Emperor questioned them, the officials could simply say that Sun Wukong was too skilled, and they were no match for him. After all, Sun Wukong had nearly usurped the emperor, so the Jade Emperor would not dare to pressure his officials too much. Thus, Tang Sanzang and his disciples encountered various demons and monsters on their journey home. Some of these monsters were within the imperial court, serving as a national master, an imperial uncle, or an imperial concubine, or even attempting to usurp the throne. Other monsters were in the wilderness, serving as city lords, kings, or scattered demons. They all sought immortality and fed on human flesh. Many of these monsters had powerful masters from the heavens, either as their relatives, attendants, or mounts. The monsters with masters, no matter how many people they ate, were pardoned and taken back by their owners. The monsters without masters, even if they had not done much evil, were simply killed. This is an allegory for a feudal society rife with evil. Either treacherous officials are in power, or the empress's relatives control the government, or the imperial harem is in chaos, or there are palace coups and a brutal emperor. Society is filled with corrupt officials, tyrannical despots, and thugs who live by preying on the common people. Many of these despots have powerful backers, often relatives, subordinates, or even servants of court officials. Despots with connections can get away with murder and pillaging with little more than a slap on the wrist, while those without a powerful backer are executed for even minor offenses. In truth, every character in Journey to the West reflects a specific group of people in feudal society, and every story reflects a social phenomenon, exposing the darkness of feudal society in vivid detail. The ending of Journey to the West is no surprise. Tang Sanzang and his disciples completed their mission, and the 4 disciples were given high positions and titles. Sun Wukong, the idealist, ultimately failed to change the world. After enduring countless setbacks and hardships, he had to bow to reality, submit to the imperial power, and exchange his loyalty for power and wealth.